Welcome, Joyful Journeyer. This is Anita Adams, your host, and today I am thrilled to introduce you to our special guest, Dawn Gaden, the CEO of Mind Body Counseling and Coaching. Dawn is more than just a CEO of her own company, though. She's also an international speaker, a licensed counselor, and a best-selling author. Plus, she is a verified IntenSati leader and a registered yoga teacher. Her experience lies in aligning the energy of our thoughts, emotions, and actions to sculpt a life we truly love. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about Dawn's revolutionary coaching program, the Image Shift, which is making waves globally. Her work empowers professional women to break free from the trance of unworthiness and embrace their magnificence through a unique practice that supercharges energy and ignites a positive mindset. I cannot wait to dive into this topic. Thank you, Dawn. Welcome for joining us.
Wow, thank you so much. This is going to be exciting.
Awesome. I think I said welcome for joining us, but that kind of works.
It works.
All right, first I have to ask, because I'm so curious about this. I've never heard of IntenSati leaders. What is an IntenSati leader?
Oh gosh, yes. Let's see. IntenSati was created back in 2007. The creator is her name is Patricia Moreno, and it's a practice she created out in New York City. So I was trained in New York City in 2016 to be an IntenSati leader. So it's a practice. If you think about it's a workout, but it's more than a workout. It's an awakening. It's an awakening of the mind, of the body, and of the spirit. So if you can take all the pieces of the things that we need to live whole, beautiful lives, it's physical, it's mental, emotional, and it's spiritual, and you put it all together in this one practice. And I've had people come to class and say, Dawn, I don't even need a therapist anymore. I can just come to your class and I purge out the junk, and then I also feel so good and uplifted with all the affirmations that we say and moving the body and sweating. And I'm a therapist, so we laugh, but we advocate for mental health. But it's a practice that digs into all those pieces of us to really to feel good. Like at the root of everything, we want to feel good. And this is a practice that pulls together not just the combination of dance, martial arts, and yoga, breath work, and meditation in one, but it's also a practice that we can tap into our mindset, our thoughts, our beliefs, so we can shift them into believing more than what we were told. It's a practice of shifting our emotions. When we're feeling depressed, can I take a moment and feel good? How to do that, how to practice it, and really tapping into our emotional, spiritual, mental, physical, all of the pieces of us in a practice. And it's changed my life and it changes my clients' lives. And that's why I teach it. And that's why I went out to New York to teach it, to learn.
Oh, beautiful. I've never heard of it. It sounds really, really interesting. Is that something that you would do as a group, or is that a one-on-one thing that you do with your clients?
Yes, that's a really good question because the practice was created as a workout, right? As a spiritual workout, but in a class setting. So 30, 40, 50 people in a class. You can have 5 people in a class. I've had 2 people in a class, depending on where I teach. I teach in big classes and I also teach in small, actually at a headquarters, a business corporate headquarters, and they have a small gym. And so I get like 3 to 5 people that come to class. And I actually have a client who comes to my classes and also is a private client. And we will be often on Zoom for our sessions. And she will ask, can we do IntenSati for our session today? Absolutely. So there's movement with affirmations. And it can be just a few movements, 4 movements, let's say, of just moving the body and using powerful positive words to shift the energy. So yes, to your answer is in big classes as well as one-on-one, it works.
Sounds amazing. Do you then incorporate it into your coaching practice as well? When a client comes on board and works with you, it's part of what they get?
Yeah, so within my coaching program, um, every month, my coaching program is 7 months, and that's because we work with each energy center or each chakra each month. And at the end of the month, you get an IntenSati practice. So like a 1 hour movement with mantra practice, pre-recorded, you have it forever. So you get 7 altogether, one for each chakra. So one that addresses each energy center in the body. So that will be on the digital format, as well as at the end of the month, we practice together as well in a live format.
Awesome. It sounds amazing. It sounds like it can be very customized for your individual clients as well when you're working one on one.
Very much so. So often we get the creator of the practice as teachers, as leaders, we get a practice or a series every month. And there's a theme to every series. For example, what I sow is what I reap. That's the practice for March that I'm teaching. Now, if I have a client that comes to me and says, I'm dealing with these issues or these limiting beliefs, and I need to shift them into these beliefs, powerful, positive beliefs, I can create and help them create their own affirmations or mantras that fit for them, using them with movement. So we don't always have to be what I'm teaching in a class. We can use what works best for us, because some affirmations resonate with some people and other affirmations resonate with other people. So finding, and that's how I work with my clients, is what works for you, what words tap into your heart and can crack you open to be, yeah, that's what I want. So I work with them in that way to, here's the negative belief, let's make this positive and create what works for you to really start peeling back those layers of yuck to get into who you really want to be.
Yeah, beautiful. Was there a turning point in your life that led you down this path to do the work you're doing today?
Yes, many, right? A few, actually. Uh, let's see. A significant event happened in 2010 when I was diagnosed with cancer. And I had found the IntenSati practice, and I've been actually a therapist since 2001. So a long time. I've been a yoga teacher since 2005, a coach since 2010. So I've been doing the work for myself and with clients for a very long time, a long career path. And transforming it into incorporating IntenSati in the practice was pretty simple and easy, because it was the work I was already doing, sitting, talking with clients. But then in 2010, when I was diagnosed with cancer, I was practicing IntenSati since 2007 on my own with videos, DVDs. They came on DVDs and on YouTube. And I had gone through cancer, and IntenSati was really helpful in keeping me grounded and clear so that I could make the best decisions for myself to be healthy and heal all the parts of me, not just physical. And I was on my third, I call it a third visit from cancer. So the cancer I was diagnosed with is non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. And so it's considered a blood cancer. So it kind of comes and goes. And there was a third visit, and I was very frustrated because I'm doing all these things. And why is this here? And why is this happening? All the things we go through when things happen that we don't want. Why is it's messing up my life and interfering, and it's not the plan. And I had to make a decision about chemotherapy and natural healing and all that good stuff. And my husband actually said to me, why don't you go do your IntenSati practice? It makes you feel better. It gives you clarity. And then you can make these decisions that you have to make regarding treatment and self-care. And it was funny. It was October 2016, that third round. And I was doing IntenSati, and it hit me. I need to teach this practice. This practice I have this big decision to make about cancer and chemotherapy. And I'm a very natural person. So to even think about a chemical to fight a disease like totally boggled my mind. Excuse me. So I had to come to some resolution and decision about that. And so in this practice, I thought, in that moment I was practicing in October, and I thought, I need to teach this practice. And so I went online, of course, and discovered that they had a leader training in November, and that was in New York. So from Michigan to New York. And I said to my husband, I'm going to New York next month. I need to learn this practice. I need to teach it. it's helping me, I know it can help others. And so we did, off we went. And so that was a really pivotal point for me to stay the course in doing the things I love to do in my therapy, as well as how do I take care of myself along the way as well.
Thank you for sharing that. It's a very personal story and impactful. There's a couple things there that resonate with me. One, I love that your husband pointed out that this is something that brings you joy. Like take time. You find clarity when you're in that place of. I know this is your language too, that higher vibrational frequency. So when we do the things that we love, we can be in that place, and that creates a clarity, and we can make big important decisions when we're in that place. So thank you for bringing that up. And I love too that you really leaned in and listened to what your body was telling you, what your heart and soul was whispering to you for you
Yeah,
to do. So beautiful.
thank you.
Beautiful. Let's talk about a little bit. You talk about turning off or turning the autopilot off. So we can become conscious creators, and that's part of that process. I think what you were just sharing, but I'd like to dive into that a little bit more. In your bio, you say you have a unique practice that supercharges energy and ignites a positive mindset. So can you share more with us about that practice?
Yeah. Well, a lot of it is the foundation of IntenSati is that practice. And again, it's more than movement. It's involves meditation. It involves breath work. Some people, as much as we need it and as much as we are human in having a human experience, many people resist movement, physical movement. So take the pieces of IntenSati that work, which is breath work, meditation, to create that clarity and to connect with your higher self, your higher source. And that I always call meditation my magic pill. It was in college when I discovered meditation that got me out of and resolved panic attacks, anxiety, insomnia. I could not sleep my first year in college. And so I call meditation my magic pill. And I'll often have clients say to me, I can't meditate or I can't sit long enough. And we got to really switch. I can't to I won't. It's that simple. I know it may sound a little harsh, but it's that simple. If we want it bad enough, we do it. And it
100% agree.
doesn't, yes, and it doesn't take that long. I'm not asking people to sit for an hour. Take a minute, 60 seconds every day to breathe and sit in silence and feel and notice. Start there. That's the magic. Just be present. And so for me, that's the foundation of everything.
I love that. Yeah, and you're right. It doesn't have to be anything too big. Like you don't have to sit and meditate for an hour, 60
Right.
seconds. Just being intentional with your time and connecting with your breath. For me, I've had a hard time meditating. I'm a lot better at it now because of different practices. My practice has been walking in nature, which I think I've probably shared with you, and I certainly talk about a lot on the show. There's a power to that mindful time, stepping away from the busyness of your life and stepping into nature. So, and that's a walking meditation, but there's other forms of meditation too. I'm going to be, we just released a podcast on the meditative benefits of art. That's that just being present to what you are doing can be meditative, right? I love that.
Yeah, so true.
Good. So that's part of your turning off the autopilot.
Yes, getting off autopilot means stop just going through the motions.
Mm,
And for me, the best way, and from what I've seen and what I teach, the best way to do that is to sit and breathe and be present.
mhm.
And another practice I teach as well is writing.
Oh, tell me more
Writing.
about that. Tell us about that.
Oh my gosh. We have, what do they say? 60, 70,000 thoughts a day. And 85% of those thoughts we are negative. And most
What's the percentage of thoughts that are negative?
it's like 60 to 75.
Oh,
No,
wow.
no, 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 I'm sorry. I'm sorry. 60 to 75,000 thoughts a day,
Yeah.
and 95% are negative.
95%?
Apparently, that's what research says. I haven't found anything different. But
Wow.
when you think about that, 95% of the time I'm sitting and stewing in the negative thoughts. We have to be aware of that
Mm.
if we want to change it. And I know some people, some of the resistance people say is, um, well, there's negative in the world. Okay, but there's also positive in the world. So where do we want to focus? It's
Mhm.
up to us. Choose which way you want to focus, because whatever we focus on expands. Whatever we give attention to expands, right? Wherever, what is it? Wherever energy flows, where attention goes. So whatever we're going to give attention to, that's where the energy is going to grow and expand. And so we have to choose. And so by writing, we start to become really aware of our thoughts and choose our thoughts. And so no more going through the motions,
Mhm.
um, like like some people nitpick, right? Nitpick on themselves. How do I look? What am I doing? It's not good enough. And if we don't catch ourselves, then we end our day in that state of yuck. Why do I feel yucky at the end of the day? Well, did you notice what you were telling yourself all day long? And when my clients commit to the practice, and there's different levels of committing to writing, it just depends on, again, 1% a day, right? Just start somewhere.
Mhm.
Start to really notice, wow, I play that thought in my head every day, all day long, day after day after day. And so when we get that out, like I called that part of the writing dumping the junk. Dump the junk.
Mhm.
Write down every thought that comes by your awareness. Don't let any thought pass by without your awareness. That's staying awake and conscious. Write it down. Take note. We're going to throw all that junk away, and then we're going to step into how to change it, how to create a new belief, how to create a new thought pattern of what we want, not what we've learned along the way, not what we've been programmed, not what society or upbringing or whatever fed us, but what I want today. Because our past doesn't have to predict our present or our future. I can decide who I want to be. And so that's what meditation did for me back in college. I was anxious. I was school was hard for me. I couldn't sleep. I was this terrified 18-year-old trying to figure out how to get through college on my own.
Mhm.
My family, blue collar, they didn't have any idea how to help. So I was on my own. And at that turning point when I had that panic attack in class in the front row, and I realized that girl can't be the one that succeeds, that runs a business, that creates a happy family, that helps people become successful. I have to be who I really want to be. I have to create or find within me my true power. It's really inside here. And so that's what meditation did for me, is to be able to find that truth and let go of this old story. We have to choose that though. We have to, and every one of us has a right to choose it. Choose what we
Yeah.
want.
Absolutely. And the being that taking the time for the meditation and then coupling that with a journaling practice is super powerful, isn't it? I just today came across this really simple approach to journaling that I feel it was meant to be, that I read about this today so I can talk about it a little bit on this podcast, because I know a lot of people struggle with journaling, and it's called the 111 method. And at the end of each day, just write about one thing that you won, that you feel like you won during the day, one victory, one thing that you felt challenged with, and one thing that you're grateful for. And
Awesome.
yeah, and I love, what I love about this is the simplicity of it. You can remember that one thing that I won, one thing that I was challenged with, and one thing that I'm grateful for. And that creates a practice of reflecting upon your day. And when you reflect upon your day, you find that clarity that we were talking about earlier. Because, like you said, there's so many thoughts that are going through our minds all the time that we can get lost in the emotions of those thoughts, and the lack of clarity that is around this barrage of stuff that is coming into our heads. So this provides an easy practice to create some clarity and
Love that.
reflect upon your day. So
Yeah.
what do you think of that approach?
It's a great approach. And because we have to, it brings about awareness. What
Absolutely.
thing did I, and celebration, celebrate one thing you did well.
Mhm.
When I ask my clients, when my clients come to session, I usually start, unless they come with a load of things they want to dive into. When they show up, I ask, what went well today? And that usually blows everybody's mind. What, you're going to ask me what went well? You don't want to just hear what's going wrong? I said,
Oh
we're
no.
trying to create more better, more good, more exciting, what wellness. So yeah, we want to talk about what went well, and then let's talk about the challenges and how to then create more of what went well.
Yeah.
And so, and then so it was what went well, the challenge, and then a gratitude, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And the gratitude is, and there's lots of studies on gratitude and mood. And so when we're more grateful and appreciative and express our gratitudes, it alleviates depression, it raises our mood, it raises our energy. So it's such a powerful practice.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Okay, so that kind of helps me might move into the next area I want to talk about, which is that the energy and the frequency. I know that you believe, as I do, that our thoughts and emotions and actions, they all have a frequency. And if we want to create a remarkable life, we have to elevate that energy, that vibrational frequency. That requires intention. That requires a lot of intention, doesn't it? So how do you help your clients, what I think is reprogramming, like a subconscious patterns? What do you do to do that, where people will not feel like that they're in that negative mind space and those negative emotions and that negative action?
Yeah. So what I consistently see that works, and again, it's my clients that show me what works, what success is, right? I have a lot of experience studying the experts on what works and what doesn't work. And what I continue to see that works is writing.
Okay, coming back to
Writing. Write, and how I do it is I write first, dump the junk. I
yeah,
want to, however much time, if it's, I'll do it in two ways. One is sit for an hour, set a timer, no interruption, 1 hour, and write all the crap
an
that
hour. That's a big chunk of time to commit to.
a big chunk of time. And I will tell people, do you want to work? I mean, I love working with people. And I will be honest. I'll say to them, do you want to work with me forever? Do you want to be where you are today forever? That's a long time. So 1 hour is nothing.
Right. That's a great way to put it in perspective. Yeah.
Right. Like sit for 1 hour with yourself, with what's going on here all day long and dump it. And those clients that don't do that, it takes them longer to get to where they want to go. The ones
Mm-hmm.
that do, we get movement and energy flowing up the
Yeah.
scale quicker. And that's why I start there.
Okay, I love that. And it reminds me of Julia Cameron's The Artist Way and the
Yes.
morning pages. Is this, yeah. So, and she recommends doing three pages, however long that takes you,
Right.
handwritten,
Mhm.
stream of consciousness
Yes.
style, like just it's like a mind dump, like you said. Sounds like the same thing that you're talking about.
Somewhat similar, except what I do is I do at the beginning have my clients focus on the junk.
Right.
It's kind of like if you imagine, and for the listeners, if you, and this is why, if we imagine a garden, we want to plant flowers and vegetables and beautiful things to grow, but this garden is full of weeds. Well, we're just going to pop these seeds in and hope they grow. The weeds are probably going to take over and you're not going to get enough nourishment from the soil to feed the flowers and the vegetables and the beautiful things, the seeds we're planting. So we got to weed the garden. So we got to weed out the negative. And so when we focus on all the junk out first, so many of my clients will say, I can take a breath.
Mhm.
I feel lighter. And some will say, Dawn, I only did a half hour. I only did 40 minutes. Okay. Okay. I'm not gonna, you're not getting an E. I'm
Mhm.
not grading you. You did it. You did what you did. Now let's look at what you accomplished. And they say there's a sense of relief. There's a sense of space now to breathe. And now I can look into maybe what's possible. What's possible now for me?
Mhm.
Can I be happy? Can I have a successful career? Can I find a partner who would love me that I love back the way I want to be? And so they start to see that like the door opens and the light starts to come in. And so that's why I start with that first.
Does it the writing practice that you encourage your clients to do, does that include after you finish writing about the junk? Do you move into the possibilities and start writing about that?
Yes, absolutely. And so that's
So
the
it's not an
difference.
hour of just focusing on the garbage.
Right. So
Okay.
we focus on the garbage, we dump it, and then I'll give that, depending on how much homework someone wants to do right away. I'll say, if this goes well and you do an hour of the junk and you're like, okay, Dawn, what's next? I can't wait till next week when we meet. Do this. Write the positives. I want, or I am. I
Yeah.
want a beautiful career. I want a house in the woods. I want a family and children. We go into the I wants and then we move into the I ams, and that has an energy frequency. So I take them through that process. And then, of course, the action.
Yeah.
What steps do we take to get there? That's in the process as well.
In the writing process.
In the writing process, as well as in living
Okay.
process, right? Like writing. So that's a journal I've created for my clients is write what we want. And then what is my inspired action for today?
Oh, nice.
If
Yeah.
we have to physically then live our life and take that
Yeah.
action every day to get to where we want to go.
Yeah. Awesome. I teach something very similar and encourage my clients to do something that I call the possibility pages, and it's writing about yourself and your life, the future version of you, but in present tense using I am, as if you are that person living that life right now. And something magical happens when you do that. You start to believe it, right? Like that you start to believe that you are that person. And then you start to see the opportunities to step into the beingness of that person. It just opens your mind. It's so powerful. So I love that you and I are very much on the same page with much of this. Like it's just
Yeah.
there's so much power in being intentional with what you allow into your head, and taking time to write out your thoughts and journals. It's great stuff. So what do you think creates lasting change? What do people need to do to create the lasting change so they don't revert back to these old patterns? Is it like, do we have to journal for the rest of our lives, or is there something else that we do?
So here's what I tell my clients. If you want to be a specific, let's say it this way, if you want to be in a healthy body, maintain a healthy, fit body, let's say that's a goal. You have to eat salads, you have to drink water, you have to nourish your body, you have to work out, you have to move your body. If you stop doing those things, if you change that lifestyle, you no longer will probably maintain the healthy, fit body that you want. It's the same with our mind, mental, emotional, spiritual being. If we don't do the things that create the lifestyle of being that person, we're not going to be that person. So I journal every day. And is it easy every day? No. I'm in a morning study group, and I journal with them. So do we need our communities and our collaborations and our accountability partners to do the things that we know are important for us, to live the life that we want, and to be surrounded by those high energy people? Yes. So we have to decide, what does my life look like? Who am I? Who do I want to be? That's that self-image. If I want to be this person who's happy and healthy and successful, I have to be that person, which means how I show up every day, my practices, how I talk to myself, how I talk to other people. So meditation, yes, it's a lifestyle. Writing is a lifestyle. How we think, and yes, there's a lot in the world that can of negative, the things we don't want to come in, and practicing how to put up our little bubble. I call it a little bubble protective shield. But that's a everyday practice, just like the food we put in our mouth and the activity we do in our body.
That's a great analogy. It's perfect for this. Yeah, you got to keep
Mhm.
the practice going. I know that when I get lazy, it happens. It
Mhm.
happens. I notice a total shift in the way I think and act in the world, and that energy drops. That
Mhm.
belief in self lowers. So it's important to be consistent.
Yes.
Now, I know you have a gift that you were going to share with the Joyful Journeyer. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, I would love to share. It's a 3-minute practice to unleash joy.
Awesome.
And it is IntenSati. It's so we have a link for it, and you get lots of pieces to it. So I want you to take what works for you. There's an audio recording of it, so you can use the meditations, affirmations. I'm sorry, it's not really meditation, it's affirmations with movement. There's a printable PDF where you can download the affirmations so you can have them in front of you to read every day. And then there's a video I'm giving you of me demonstrating the movements with the mantras so you can actually move your body with me. And you can do these moves, you can do 3 minutes a day. And again, I'm not a quick fixer. I am all about lasting, sustainable change. But if all you have to start with is 3 minutes, you can do that with this practice. Moving your body, you can use all 16 moves, or you can use 4 moves for affirmations, however you want to break it up, but you'll have it as a resource. Just say, I need to shift this energy. I need to move my body. I need to listen to these powerful, positive words. And so this is a gift for you from me to just take that step to really start unleashing that joy in your life. It's in there. We just have to pull back the layers.
Awesome. I love it. I'm gonna download that as well. It sounds like the perfect thing. Sounds wonderful. Thank you so much
You're
for
welcome.
making that gift available. And Joyful Journeyer will put that link in the show notes so you can access that. And I love that it's short too. It's not, again, you're not asking for somebody to commit to a big chunk of time to learn something new. This is a really short little thing that you can take
Yes.
on. Awesome.
Yes. Hmm.
Simplicity is key, isn't it? For any kind of change we want to make. Like if we make it too big and cumbersome, it's really hard to make a shift.
We have, yes, and I think we have to understand the how the brain works. I think that's so amazing. Like the brain has created these grooves. If we think about grooves, like ruts, and those are habits. And if we want to take this big leap, we always they seem to get pulled back into that rut. So it's just a little bit each time. And I love the quote. I don't know who said it. 1% improvement, one day at a time.
Mm,
So 1%, if 3 minutes is your 1% that day, you
yeah.
do that.
Or
That's all.
60-second meditation. If that's your 1%, that's awesome. Yeah.
Yes, just a little bit every day to move in the direction that we want to go.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us today, Dawn. You've brought a lot of wisdom to this conversation and given us some takeaways, some great takeaways that we can grow and learn, expand, and move into that 1% growth a day. So thank you so much for that. And Joyful Journeyer, if you enjoyed this episode, please rate it, leave a review. It goes a long way to helping us reach more people. And we will catch you next time. Bye for now.